making himself indispensable.
Stuff like that.
We'll call the meeting to order, and we'll have the invocation by Commissioner Jordan.
Let's bow our heads. Most gracious Heavenly Father, thank you for giving us this opportunity to come together. Thank you for giving us this opportunity to use our collective minds and for the time and effort of those on the commission, the individuals coming before us, for the other city employees, in doing what they can to help our community. May you guide us in our decisions. May you help us to make the decisions that would be pleasing to thy will and thyself. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Commissioner Mashaw,
Here.
Commissioner Thorne, Commissioner Art,
Here.
Commissioner Max,
Here.
Commissioner Jordan,
Here.
Commissioner Hawkins,
Here.
Commissioner Skeen,
Here.
Commissioner News.
Everybody had opportunity to review the minutes? If so, is there a motion to approve the minutes?
Second.
Commissioner Jordan,
Aye.
Commissioner Art,
Aye.
Commissioner Max, Commissioner Mashaw,
Aye.
Commissioner Skeen.
Aye.
All right, our first item is PL 1967, a request to rezone 3.049 acres from AR to C2 located on the south side of Star Landing Road, west of Highway 51. Parcel numbers included. Mary Stepp, the owner of the property. Ms. Condoza, would you present the planning staff report and comments?
Yes, sir. This is PL 1967. The request is from Mary Stepp here tonight. And the request is for a zoning map amendment of 3.049 acres from AR, agricultural residential, to C2, highway commercial. And the parcel number is listed in the staff report. On the south side of Star Landing Road, west of Highway 51. This is our first rezoning with a comprehensive plan we recently adopted. And so the new place type map that we've adopted with that comprehensive plan identifies this as a suburban area corridor mixed use, and that description is listed below. Based on the definition of C2 and the definition of suburban area corridor mixed use commercial, I do think this is in conformance with our comprehensive plan we've adopted. The three questions of criteria for approval or denial with a commercial or with a rezoning are as follows: how the proposed amendment would conform to the general development plan, why the existing zoning district classification of the property in question is inappropriate or improper, and the major economic, physical, or social changes, if any, have occurred in the vicinity of the property in question that were not anticipated by the general development plan and substantially altered the basic character of the area, which may propose amendment to the zoning district map appropriate. And the applicant has provided three responses to each of those. Tonight's recommendation from the commission will be heard at next Tuesday night's Board of Aldermen meeting, 6/16 at 6 p.m. And I did include proposed motions to approve, deny, or table, how you guys see fit. I've included aerial imagery and a surrounding zoning map for reference in the staff report. And as you can see, it's surrounded by commercial C4 properties, which abut C2 on the southern end, and on the northern side is the city of South Haven, which has planned business, commercial, and a mobile home park to the north of the site. There is a sister parcel to the east of this at 545, so this zoning would only cover 577, that 3 acres that's there, under which she owns now. And so there is a vicinity map, and then I've circled the parcel of the city's general development plan that we've adopted that identifies this as going commercial, and that description is in your staff report. As I mentioned, Ms. Mary's here tonight. I represent this application, and I'm available if you have questions.
Question, Austin. I guess you might can help us, but I know that's ultimately up to the applicant. Seems like you said everything touches it pretty much around has been rezoned C4.
I asked him the same question. The C4 is an old plan adopted, I think, in the late 90s, early 2000s. And they don't have a plan. They do just want commercial rezoning with it being on the Highway 51 access. And without the plan, C2 is probably the most appropriate zoning. But C4 does require, it's like a PUD. It requires a plan, a site plan, proposed uses, and they didn't have that available.
Any other question for Mr. Cardoza? Applicant, please come forward and state your name and address in its entirety.
Garrett Madero, 3701 Bluff Road, Hernando, Mississippi, 38632.
Any comment you'd like to make?
No, sir, like Mr. Cardosi said, we're just looking to go C2. We don't have a design at this time for any buildings or anything, so that's our recommendation.
Question for the applicant?
Just strictly looking for a rezone, there's no plan for the property, no future.
We're trying to sell the property at this time, so we don't have any plans to build anything.
Y'all own the sister property?
No, sir.
I just know Austin said the other parcel was there too.
Would that be the one to the east? Is that, yeah, that's not ours.
Any other questions for the applicant?
Thank you.
Anyone in support or against this item, please come forward and state your name and address. Is there a motion to approve, deny, or table this item?
I'll make a motion to approve, a motion to recommend approval of the Board of Aldermen for the application by Mary Step of rezoning of, as detailed in the attached. The subject property is located on the south side of Star Landing, west of Highway 51, and based upon the following findings, 1 through 3.
Second.
Second.
Commissioner Jordan?
Aye.
Commissioner Arndt?
Aye.
Commissioner Max?
Nay.
Commissioner Mashal?
Aye.
Commissioner Skeen?
Aye.
Motion to approve this item passes. The next item, PL 1970, conditional use. A request for a conditional use permit to operate a massage therapy in the C2 zone of 2354 McInville Road. The subject property is located on the east side of McInville, north of Carmore Street. Robin Baisdale is representing owner of the property. Could those videos give us the planning commission reporting?
Yes, sir. This is PL 1970, and the request is for a conditional use permit for a massage therapy establishment in the C2 zone. Site address is 2354 McInville Road, the east side of McInville, Commerce Street, and the shopping center. I believe this location was formerly Market 23. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Is that I believe that was the tenant that was there previously. Ms. Robin Blaisdell's here to represent the application. We've got one of each of the different types of applications tonight, so I'll read the approval or denial criteria for this, specifically being the conditional use. How this proposed use will not substantially increase traffic hazards or congestion. How the proposed use will not substantially increase fire hazards. How the proposed use will not adversely affect the character of the neighborhood. How the proposed use will not adversely affect the general welfare of the city. How the proposed use will not overtax public utilities or community facilities. They explain how the proposed use of the property will conform to recommendations of the city's general development plan. The applicant did provide responses to each of those. The applicant was previously located in Hernando, in the Bond Theater, and relocating to this new site at 2354 McInville Road. In the past, the commission has attached conditions with a conditional use permit. These can include, but aren't limited to, hours of operation, the number of customers at a time, or anything else y'all feel like directly ties the approval or denial criteria. And I did provide proposed motions to approve tonight or table in the staff report. And in the exhibit, you can see the vicinity map gives an idea of surrounding zoning, and the aerial gives you an idea of what's generally around this site. Ms. Robbins here tonight representing the application. I'm available if you got any questions.
We need to put a time period on any approval.
Yes, sir.
Applicant, please come forward and state your name and address in its entirety.
Apologize, I thought that was you.
That's okay,
Yeah.
no, I'm the variance.
Not here. Oh.
Oh, I didn't hear you, I'm sorry.
To the mic, just state your name and address in its entirety.
My name is Robin Blaisdell. I live in Olive Branch at 6695 White Hawk Lane, but I am moving to 2354 Mackingville Road for my business spa around the corner. I don't think so. I've been a member of the community for 20 years, and I've been in Hernando for 4 years already.
How long is your lease for at your new place?
It is for 13 months to start with, and then the gentleman and I talked about another 3 years after that.
You're the only therapist there, or you?
I have one other person who works with me on the weekends, so we can do couples massages.
What's normally your operating hours?
We're there 11 to 7, unless I have a client who needs to come in a little bit earlier at like 10:30.
Monday through Saturday or Monday through Sunday?
Tuesday through Saturday.
Are you requesting, I mean, we don't have to put, I guess, an hour of operation limitation? Okay.
Just, mainly it's just for the renewal on the time limit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have an issue with hours, but.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone in support or against this item, please come forward and state your name and address. Is there a motion to approve? Deny or table this item?
I'll make a motion to grant approval for the conditional use. Ms. Robin Blaisdell for conditional use operated massage therapy establishment in the C2 zone. Subject property is located at 2354 Mackingville Road on the east side of Mackingville, north of Commerce, for 1 through 6, and a time limit. I think the last one we did was for the lease term, and then when she came back, she had a longer lease, and we extended it then.
Either way. I was gonna say 2 years is what I was gonna propose, but,
It was 2 years. That's
I
fine.
mean, it's out 13 months, but whatever.
2 years.
Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Jordan,
Aye.
Commissioner Arndt,
Aye.
Commissioner Max,
Aye.
Commissioner Mashal,
Aye.
Commissioner Skeen.
Motion to approve this item passes. The next item is PL 1971, a request for a variance for allowable front yard setback for a fence. The subject property is located at 211 Elkwood Lane on the south side of Elkwood, west of Fawn Lane. Christy Hardy, the owner. Ms. Cardoza, would you present the planning commission report and comment?
Yes, sir. This is PL 1971. As you mentioned, it's a request for a variance to allowable front yard setback for a fence at 211 Elkwood Lane, south side of Elkwood, west of Fawn Drive. Christy Hardy's here tonight to represent this application. I did include the approval or denial criteria for a variance, this being the third type of application tonight. Those are as follows. That special conditions or circumstances exist or peculiar to land, structures, or buildings involved. They're not generally applicable to other land, structures, or buildings in the same district. The literal enforcement of the provisions of these standards would deprive the applicant of rights commonly enjoyed by other properties within the same district under the terms of this ordinance. Special conditions and circumstances do not result in the action of the applicant, are not based upon economic considerations. Granting this variance would not confer on the applicant any special privilege that's otherwise denied by the ordinance of other land, structures, or buildings in the same district. We did discover the fence under construction, which is what generated the application tonight. We reached out to the property owner, Ms. Hardy, and construction was stopped. And the application was made, and so we're here tonight with the request to extend the fence beyond the allowable 10 foot. So we allow 10-foot extension. The request is for 27 foot. The previous fence was 19, and that did extend beyond our allowable setback. We couldn't find record of the permitting. I'm guessing it predates our permitting system, so I don't have a reference of if that received the variance or if it just was permitted the right way. So I don't have a great answer for you on that. But the request tonight is to extend 27 foot from the home, which would put it 26 and a half foot from the curb. Previously, that was 34. And I put a rendering in your staff report that shows the distances of the new fence and the old fence. And then the applicant provided a drawing as well. I provided a vicinity map and a subdivision map to give you an idea of where this is at here in the city. And I'm available if you got any questions.
Would the applicant please come forward and state your name and address in this time?
Christy Hardy, 211 Elkwood Lane, Hernando, 38632.
Any comments?
The reason, well, one, I apologize, I didn't know you had to get a permit for a fence if you already had a fence, so I apologize for that. But the reason I would like to move it further towards the street is up the hill because I live on a hill, and I've lived there for about 13 years, and I've had about a foot of erosion since I've lived there. I've had dirt brought in a couple times. Where the fence currently sits, I've reinforced it with concrete, but it sits at the bottom of the slope. And if we put the fence in the same spot, I think the same thing is just going to continue happening. And like I said, I brought dirt in twice, like truckloads of dirt in twice, and then other loads of dirt to try to counter the erosion. Moving the fence up the hill, well, one, put it in a different spot, so hopefully it won't continue to erode like it has been. And then I'd like to put a retaining wall on the inside of the fence along that hill also to help with the erosion.
So you've lived there 13 years. Did you live there when the first variance was given?
No, ma'am. That fence was already there when I moved in.
Okay. And in your response here, you mentioned that this is because the neighbor's pool drains into your yard?
That's not the reason. That's a contribute. I said that contributes to it. That doesn't help, but it does contribute. The neighbors behind me, when they drain their pool, like I said, I live on a hill, so at the top of the subdivision, so everything slides down. But then when they drain their pool, the lady that did live there before me said that she had the same issue when they would drain the pool. It directs in, which did not cause the erosion, but it definitely contributes to it when it happens.
Gotcha. Do you know if the neighbors directly behind you, because they're on that same hill, did they have the same issues?
They're
or-
actually higher up.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I don't know.
I rode by it, and I think a lot of her problem is her house is from Fawn Drive, like it goes down the hill towards her backyard. To me, that's the drastic runoff versus where the neighbor's yard is at.
Yeah.
So you want to move the fence towards the hill?
Higher up the hill towards closer to the street. Because where it currently sits now, it's at the very bottom of where it runs off.
I drove by a couple times. I guess I was trying to figure it out. I would think that would push it more towards the erosion instead of where it's at now, because right now it's in a flat, right? I mean, I don't know what else they drove
Well,
by.
it's flat now because it's eroded out from under it. But I would like to move it up. Another reason is because when you walk on the sidewalk, you can see at least this much into the backyard. So there's really a privacy fence offers no privacy. But I would like to do a retaining wall within the higher fence if I do it to help with the wash away.
Your plan is to put a retaining wall between the proposed new fence and the old fence?
Take the old fence down, put it on the inside of the new fence, on the hill where it grades down.
Would you need an approval for the retaining wall?
If it's under 3 feet, if it's over 3 feet, we do get Joe Frank involved first from a structural perspective. There's no actual special approvals needed from the commission.
So.
I was looking at more like not a huge retaining wall, but more like a, like a
Railroad tie.
railroad ties or cinder block, like too high, height, just to,
And
mostly help with.
I drove by and I also saw that right now your current fence is lined up with your neighbor behind you
Yes.
with the pool, and this is gonna put it out from theirs, so that, I guess, it's not gonna obstruct anyone's view. I did circles. Your neighbors probably thought I was weird because I was circling the neighborhood.
Well,
so
I did,
many-
and I made sure when I went there too, that it wasn't, gonna be
Yeah.
blocking from either direction.
Um,
Their pool actually sits towards the back.
I guess just my concern is the appearance. They would either have to move their fence to align it with yours, or I guess it would just, and it's been there for however long, I guess that would be one of my concerns.
I agree with that. I actually live extremely close to here. My house is on most of these maps that we're looking at, and her fence does already come
Yeah,
out
it's
farther
a-
because of the previous variance given
It's
for,
probably
I
about
believe, a
from-
tree.
That's in the front though,
The length
right?
of this table, it's on the
Over
side
here on the
yard.
side. It comes out farther.
I guess I didn't see that. I thought it was all in a line with the other.
See how it comes out a little
No, so it's
further.
probably about the distance of this table, I would think, out from theirs.
So it is already coming out, and now it's requested for it to come out even further, and I agree, it doesn't look great, if I'm being honest.
It doesn't look great falling over either, though. I mean, honestly, and that's the second, I've reinforced it already in the same spot. We've reinforced the post with concrete, and the same thing has continued to happen, so, and I've
Are there
brought in
any
dirt.
other contributing factors, maybe? Do you have dogs, maybe, that
I
are
do,
jumping
but
on the
that's-
fence?
I mean, I have dogs, but they're not jumping on the fence. I mean, the fence is, is old. It's been, it was probably reinforced about 3 years after we moved in because it was already starting to lean.
Gotcha.
Have you, is this a company that you've hired to do this?
My son does fencing.
Okay, because I was just curious, I didn't know if they maybe would have any other suggestions, like maybe, because I've looked, maybe going deeper with the poles and then
We
gravel,
said 10 foot this time.
gravel and rock in there, so it would support drainage in there, but that's just, yeah, I was just curious.
And we actually did speak with the neighbor behind me within the last couple days about going in halves on the back fence between our two properties. I didn't ask about extending it out. I don't know, if he'd be interested in that. I did not ask that. But we did talk about going in, to replace that fence between us.
Any other questions for the applicant? Thank you. Anyone in support against this item? Is there a motion to approve, deny, or table this item?
I'm going to make a motion to deny a fence variance to the allowable front yard setback. The subject property is located at 211 Elkwood Lane on the south side of Elkwood, west of Fawn Drive, and as described in the attached exhibits based on 1 through, was that 7? No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 through 5.
Second.
Second.
Commissioner Jordan?
Aye.
Commissioner Ard?
Aye.
Commissioner Max?
Aye.
Commissioner Mashal?
Aye.
Commissioner Dean?
Aye. The motion to deny this item passes, and you have 10 days to appeal to the mayor and board. The next item is PL 1972, a request for final plat approval of Scott Meadows Phase 3. Request for final plat approval of 32 lots on 26.97 acres. The subject property is located on the south side of Legacy Lane and Whitfield Lane, Section 14, Township 3, Range 8. Andy Richardson representing the owner. Commissioner Cardoso, you could please present the planning commission report and comment.
Yes, sir, this is PL 1972. It's for the third phase of Scott Meadows subdivision. North side of West Oak Grove Road, east of the crossing, and south of Commerce Street. Andy Richardson's here tonight representing the application. With this being the third phase, the project is under construction. This proposed plat consists of 32 lots on 26.97 acres. The zoning is PUD, and so with a PUD, that preliminary plan, that's typically the PUD serves as the preliminary plat. And so I included the language from the subdivision regulations regarding this final plat versus a preliminary plat. And the language says that when the final plat substantially conforms to the preliminary plat, the commission shall approve and recommend their recommendation to the Board of Aldermen. And so I included the preliminary plat from the rezoning, and that is the picture with the yellow lines, the third map in your staff report, and that is the preliminary plan that was submitted back in 2020 for the development phases of Scott Meadows PUD. And then, as you can see on the plat, the streets and lot sizes and lot numbers are the same that were submitted back in 2020. So, in my opinion, it does substantially conform. The one condition that I forgot to include in the staff report was the requirement for a tree to be in each yard based on their tree mitigation. It's been ongoing within the subdivision, but I think it would be safe to include just to have that as a condition of the subdivision phase to cover our bases. Y'all's recommendation tonight will be heard by the Board of Aldermen on June 16th, next Tuesday, along with the rezoning. And I did provide a proposed motion and our standard subdivision criteria conditions, minus the one tree requirement in the staff report. Andy Richardson's here tonight, and I'm available if you've got any questions.
Applicant, please come forward, state your name and address in its entirety.
Andy Richardson with R&H Engineering, 231 West Center Street, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Are there going to be any fence issues with this phase like we had with the first one? Can we address those now? Is there anything we can do?
I don't think so. We're new to this project, honestly. We're just walking into it.
I thought you were, okay.
So-
I didn't remember you on it, okay.
There were a few corner lot fence variances right in a row last year, and so.
Yeah, just every corner we had to do a fence variance on. I think it's just.
These lots are, I think the smallest is like 2/3 of an acre, and the largest is just shy of an acre, so hopefully there won't be any of those issues.
These are the smallest in the subdivision?
No,
Oh.
the smallest are at the entrance.
Okay.
That phase one,
All right.
yeah, right off Commerce.
Anyone in support or against this item? Who deny or table this item?
I'll make a motion to recommend approval of a final plat approval for the Scott Meadows Phase 3. Final plat by Andy Richardson representing the owner of the subject property. A portion of parcel number 308-515-000-0000502, parcel number 3086-14000-0000700, and parcel number 3086-14000-0000713, located on the north side of West Oak Grove Road, east of Oak Crossing Drive, and south of West Commerce Street, based upon the staff conditions listed in the report, and including the requirement of a tree be planted in each yard pursuant to the City of Hernando tree mitigation plan.
Yes, sir.
Second.
Commissioner Jordan?
Aye.
Commissioner Ard?
Aye.
Commissioner Max?
Aye.
Commissioner Mashal?
Aye.
Commissioner Skeen?
Skip that one. Aye. Let you do that one.
Vote this item passes.
I did my big one.
The last item is a request, PL 1974, request for final plat approval for part of Lot 58, Hernando Town Map, Isla Place, one lot subdivision located on the north side of East Valley Street, east of Northview Street. Chance Walker, representing owner. Mr. Dozie, report and comments.
Yes, sir. This is Appeal 1974. The request is for a final plat for part of Lot 58 of the old Hernando Town map, which is the original founding map for the division of parcels within the downtown area. The location on the downtown street is always a bit of a tongue twister, but it's north side of East Valley Street, east of Northview Street. Chance Walker's here tonight to represent the application. This is one of the more interesting applications we've had in a while. So This proposed lot has actually existed since 1913. And so I went back and pulled the deeds from the division back through title search from 1913. I've included that original deed in your staff report. And so throughout the years, this lot's just remained undeveloped. It's gone through several ownership changes to get to where it is now, but it's never received final plat approval. And so the applicant's looking into building a home on the parcel, and we require final plat approval before you can build a home. So that's what his request is tonight, is to receive final plat approval. And so based on our zoning regulations, this lot is considered a legal non-conforming lot. It existed prior to our zoning ordinance existing. And so it is a legal lot. It's non-conforming in the fact that it is too small for the zoning district. But there is a provision in our zoning ordinance where we can approve things like that if it did happen before our zoning ordinance was established. So I did mention to the applicant that any future deviation of their setbacks, because it is a pretty small lot, would have to come back for variance. And so I believe they're working on a site plan that's going to fit, but if it doesn't, he'll have to ask for a variance. Tonight's request is simply for final plat approval. In your staff report, I did include the old original town map, which hangs in the courthouse, and we have one in our department. And as you can see, I've sketched out the piece of lot 58 that was divided back in April 1913 via a warranty deed. So it's separated out and never got finalized with the commission because the commission didn't exist. So there are very few conditions listed in the staff report because this is in the middle of downtown with the developed lot. The only condition would be all improvements, the responsibility of the builder, and that the installation of a sidewalk shall be at the builder's expense. And then a street light, if needed, will be at the developer's expense as well, but there are street lights on the street. I did provide a proposed motion, and the plat is included in your staff report, and as I mentioned, that town map and the original deed from when this was created in your staff report. And tonight's recommendation will also go to the June 16th, next Tuesday, board hall. And I'm available if you got any questions.
I have a question. So it would also have to have a driveway, curb cut and stuff, right?
Yes, sir.
So this lot just has never been built on since it became a lot back in 1913 or whatever.
I think the assumption was it was a piece of lot 58 for all these years, but it wasn't by deed.
So it had to have a driveway and a sidewalk.
Yes, sir. The sidewalk would be roughly 45 foot in width, is the width of the lot. And I'm assuming it'd be a pretty small house if it fits at all without a variance.
Because there's 25-foot setback on the front and then 20 on the back.
That's correct. The total lot depth is
Take away 45.
It says 5,000 square feet is the total size of the lot on the,
That's without the easements, right?
yeah, oh, yeah, I mean, that's the total
building
amount.
setback would be much less than that. The
Yeah.
total lot size is 5,000.
So I will say, I would not be motivated to grant variances to build something on that lot. I mean, I think the owner needs to know that ahead of time before you get too far into this. Just, I would be very skeptical of any variances to build on there. I mean,
There's a reason why the lot has never been built on it over.
yeah. Just being upfront.
The width is just 45 feet wide, and you have 10 feet with 35 feet of buildable.
And then a driveway too. Well, I guess it'd be,
Yeah, I don't see how you put a driveway, but I'm,
straight, yeah.
Right. It wouldn't be a side loading. And it probably wouldn't even be a garage if I.
Is this not in the historical district?
It It's outside the historic district. Let me make sure that,
Lucky.
yeah, Russell gets to deal with that. I'll confirm real quick. I think,
Oh, yeah.
it is outside.
I had like 5 minutes to throw this on a piece of paper, so the sidewalk and stuff is shut. That's the house.
It is outside the district.
I guess you would call it a shotgun-style house. I've seen a rendering of it. It's got a pretty nice facade to it, but it's more of a shotgun style.
State your name and address in the.
Chance Walker, Smith Walker Engineering, 1102 Braemont Drive, Nesbit, Mississippi.
Square foot is the housing.
I'm not sure off the top of my head. Like I said, I threw it on a piece of paper 5 minutes before he sent it to me, and he said, "This is what we're going with," and it fits. It's not big. It's 2-story shotgun style. It's got a covered porch on the side that also fits within inside the setback. I was on the same boat with all. I mean, I didn't think this was possible, to be honest, and then Austin said we could do it, so here we are.
I mean, I haven't seen the house, but, I mean, is it gonna require variances?
No, I don't, no.
That proposal doesn't need any variances?
No, sir. It's honest, I mean, it's a nice looking house, the rendering that I saw. This particular client of mine uses very nice architecture, and he got it custom for the lot.
Shows a garage, too.
That does.
It's probably gonna be nicer than some of the other houses in the neighborhood.
It will be. Knowing this guy, he doesn't build anything. It's going to be very nice. And he understands sidewalk and street light. If that's required, he's willing to do that as well.
So he's just going to build and sell it?
No, this is for his son.
Okay. I was just curious whether it was going to be rental, what was going to happen to it.
As of right now, his son's going to build it and live in it.
Okay.
I mean, the shotgun style does make sense in that area because those townhomes are just right there, and they're like that. They're all very thin, and they go back, and they're tall.
Or thin and long.
Yeah.
It fits.
Approval of it is kind of a formality that, it's already a lot, right?
Yeah, I don't think we have much choice on that, do we? Yeah.
And if they're saying they're gonna build it without.
If they don't require, I just wanted to be upfront.
Right.
But I mean, if they got something on there that we don't have to approve, I mean, it's.
Trust me, I was in the same boat. I didn't think you could find a house to fit on it, but that's the one.
I'm
How
impressed.
did he find the lot? Is what
I don't know. This wasn't his first one to do either. I've done one on Olive Branch just about like that size.
Did it not show up as a tax parcel? Was it a separate tax parcel?
I think it is.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I'm impressed. I'm impressed.
Mashal needs to see it.
Right there. It's already taxed and separate.
Oh, okay.
I appreciate you throwing this together for us, too.
Yeah, I figured that would, I guess it's not believable until you can see that, so.
Any other questions for the applicant? All right, thank you. Is there a motion to approve, deny, or table this item?
Make a motion to grant final plat approval for part of Lot 58, Hernando Town Map, Isla's Place, 1 lot subdivision located on the north side of East Valley Street, east of Northview Street, based upon the findings that the submitted final plat generally conforms to the requirements of the city's codes and ordinances, subject to conditions 1 through 4.
Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Jordan?
Aye.
Commissioner Arnold?
Aye.
Commissioner Max?
Aye.
Commissioner Mashal?
Aye.
Commissioner Skeen?
Motion to approve this item passes. We have another item that,
Thank you.
want to kind of talk about, the data centers.
Yes, sir.
It's a pretty lot.
As y'all saw in Commissioner Matchall's email, the request is for some additional discussion to be introduced to the ordinance committee regarding data centers. And in light of things going on in the county, and I think I want to make it clear on the record that this is not in retaliation or anything for anything active. We have nothing even on the books at all. So this is just to be proactive in our ordinance. So the request from Commissioner Mashal generally was to do a little research on distance requirements from residential zonings for data centers. And so I've got some literature from National League of Cities and National Association of Counties of things that other towns have done. And the one overarching comment was that there's not a distance that's recommended, just because there's lots of considerations with topography, buffers, the scale of the data center, of how large it is. And so I couldn't come to you with a recommendation of what that number should be. And as y'all know, we did already limit these to industrial zoning by conditional use. So they're not by right. They would have to come back to you for any consideration at all. But I think the wish is to maybe strengthen that a bit with some distance requirements and bring up the discussion internally with the commission, and then take back something to the ordinance committee so I can respect y'all's wishes of how y'all want to proceed with the ordinance. So I'll kind of open up the floor.
I guess the reason why I thought it was a good idea was, like I told Austin, I think I put in the email, was the McCracken and Vaden, that whole industrial area, like, backs right up to a neighborhood, and it's already existing. So, yeah, we're gonna have to conditional use, but that's already there, so we couldn't stop how close it was to that neighborhood there. I guess that was my concern. Already existing industrial that are close to neighborhoods. That's why I thought a distance would be a good thing to have in there.
Are there, man, I'm not looking at the map, like a parcel in there that's available that you're?
I know there's one for lease right now, but from my understanding, they come in with a lot of money. So I could imagine if they want to put something there, they could pretty much buy that whole entire, I mean, maybe not, but my understanding is money is no object when they want a property. I'm just assuming.
You know, I agree. I mean, I like a distance thing.
Also, schools. I would like a distance from schools. I know right now, I know it's usually schools and neighborhoods and hospitals, but currently we don't have a hospital, and I don't know if we're going to have one, so I don't think we really have to worry about that. But at least schools and neighborhoods. Because there's land for sale across from Hernando Hills. I know right now it's a residential, but who's to say that someone's not going to come in and ask for that to be changed to C2? I know it's Madison Lakes, and it's probably never going to happen, but that's right across from Hernando Hills, and it's been sitting for sale for a long time. And there's also land for sale by the high school, right?
There is.
So I guess those are my concerns.
I think it's good foresight. Good to be ahead of the game.
We are the planning committee.
I mean, even if we don't have a specific distance requirement, I'll just bring this concern back to the ordinance committee, and their recommendation is actually gonna come back to you anyway, so we'll see how it is.
I mean, your screen's blanking, but we were doing like a distance, like Austin and I were trying to do, like, at first I said, like, my original thought was like 5 miles, but then I was like, no, that's crazy. That'll be like all of Hernando. But then I was like a mile, and Austin said even a mile was a lot, because he was trying to do like a radius by, and it went all the way over to Walmart, I guess, is what the 1 mile radius was.
From the intersection of Oak Grove and Baden, a mile would get you to Walmart.
Which that doesn't bother me, because you probably don't want, at least a half a mile would be my recommendation.
The only distance I see in any
2,500
of this
feet.
literature is Fairfax, Virginia, Fairfax County, Virginia. It just says, special review above 40,000 square feet or 80,000 square feet if it's industrial, prohibited within 1 mile of metro stations, which I don't know what exactly a metro station is.
I think it's like either a bus terminal.
Yeah,
It's the sub-
it's like
it's their
a
subway.
train, yeah,
It's their subway.
which I don't know why they'd care how close it was to one of those.
Right.
Odd request, but I would,
Maybe for electricity reasons, if it's a.
That makes sense.
maybe. Yeah, I just think we need a buffer.
It's good, good information. I'll take it back to the ordinance committee, and I'll let you know.
I don't know if it's my algorithm now, but now I see YouTube videos all the time now. People crying when they pop up in their backyards. So I just wanted to bring it up.
We don't have a zoo like Nashville to worry about.
Remember, Austin, did we have a sound threshold, so many decibels?
We have a noise ordinance, but the committee's recommendation for data centers was to just codify it to industrial zones only, and then also do a conditional use and kind of treat it on a case by case. And have, I think that the idea was have, if there was one to come, they would have to approve everything rather than give them a list. They would kind of treat it on a case by case.
Any other questions, comments pertaining to data centers? Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned.
Thank y'all.
They're only gonna be an issue for a few more years. We'll put them in outer space, we're gonna put them in outer space before long.
Yeah, I saw where they're putting them, in China, they're putting them underwater. I don't know whether that's true or not.
It's cool, it's cooler in outer space.